All right, here we are again. Week 3 of the NFL Circa Survivor Millions Vegas Horse Pools proxy service. Scott, how's it looking this week? I know it's been a tough afternoon, missed by a field goal, but it sounds like you're at least feeling like they're back in the picture these days.
Oh, I could not be more excited for a loss. Nebraska played one hell of a game. I think we made a statement today. The statement is you cannot deny us the playoffs. And if we can get in the playoffs, hang on. Nebraska's back. They didn't win today, but they're back. I could not be more pleased.
Wow, that's good. Because I was watching the score and it was looking rough, and then I saw they just missed out at the end. They got that touchdown with a minute and a half left.
Yes,
Gave some hope again, but good to see that optimistic spirit that Scott always brings to the party.
Hey, there's nothing to be gained by being negative. And if we're going to be positive, let's be 100% positive. Let's talk about this crazy week that I've been putting the picks in. This has been an amazing week. Let's talk about the millions first. The millions.
Okay.
By far, the number one pick on the millions was the Rams. I don't remember what you had on your selection. Did you have a bunch of Rams?
I did have a bunch of Rams. I mean, with the plus 3.5 getting the hook, the line's generally 3 everywhere now, although it's 3 minus 20, Philly. But yeah, it was just one that I thought, they seem to go all right, except when it's winter time. So I did take the 3.5 in a few spots.
Perfect. Yeah, and I see you got a bunch of entries still left. Number 2 pick was a little bit of a surprise, at least it was to me. It was the Colts. What do you think about that game? Is there any smart money on the Colts?
So Colts -4, 67% of the money's on that, on the Colts, 80% of the master money. It's the Colts. They beat up on Miami week 1, got super lucky to win week 2. I don't see this one. I think I had Tennessee in a couple of spots. But yeah, heavy money on the Colts in this one. So we'll definitely be needing Tennessee.
Gotcha. And the number 3 game, probably not a surprise to anybody, but it's the Chargers. The Chargers are playing, I believe it's Denver, and people were all over the Chargers in millions. What do you think about that play?
So Chargers are going to be our play of the day. It's at minus 2.5. It's kind of moved to 3. 67% of the overall money is on Denver. 75% of the master money, generally at minus 2.5, is on the Chargers. So that was the standout one when I was looking at the charts coming into this. So definitely going to be on the Chargers minus 2.5. But it was an easy one when looking at the charts, and they seem to be going all right so far after losing a bunch of players and some injury issues in preseason, and they seem to have kicked into gear now. The real games are happening.
Yeah, looks really, really good. I agree with you. Let's take a look at the next one. Next one's a hometown team. It is the Las Vegas Raiders. What do you think about the Raiders?
So this is another one I used as well. Plus 3.5. Generally, the line's 3 there. This is a really well-balanced, well-bet game. So nothing really stood out there. But whenever the line sort of got to the 3.5, it got picked up, and now, the only money on Washington's -3, and a few people have bought it down to 2.5. But very well-balanced bet game. But I think you've got the Raiders coming off Monday, Washington coming off Thursday, so obviously 3 extra days. So I was kind of surprised that there wasn't more action on Washington because, those extra days and sort of 2, I guess, average teams. I was surprised there wasn't a little bit more on that. We're little bit more imbalanced.
I gotcha. And it looks like the last millions looks like it's San Francisco taking on Arizona. So this is 2 of the games against 2 of the teams that have been the top pick in Survivor in the early weeks of this contest. What do you think about San Francisco here?
So I did use the 49ers in a couple of spots. Generally, there's 60% of the money's on Arizona overall, but the master money is sort of well balanced. So This was one I was speaking to a few different people, and I know a couple sort of picked this one for their survivor as well, expecting there not to be many on this, which I would readily agree with. But yeah, so far most of the money's on Arizona, but the money that we really look at is well balanced.
Very good. Very good. All right, let's talk about the important one. That is Survivor. This is the one everybody talks about. And the number one pick in Survivor, I was actually threatened this week. I just want to let you know. So if I'm not here next week, you'll know why. I was threatened here on the number one pick. The number one pick was the Seahawks. And I was told specifically if they don't win, he's going to kill me. Apparently, we've had a couple of people go all in on this pick. And it's all up to me on this one, apparently. So what do you think about the Seahawks? Did you have 90% of your picks on this too?
No, I did not. More than half my picks are already through this week. While it wasn't an easy advancement, especially as they were driving that ball to try and tie up that game, thankfully that pick just landed the game perfectly. Didn't need that extra field goal at the end, but yeah, got those through. I do have 2 of my 8 on Seattle. Overall, 90% of the money is on Seattle. This and Green Bay, which we'll get into, is just huge teaser games this week. So generally they're teasing them down to just win, -1, -0.5, whatnot. However, 99% of the master money, and while it was only a small amount of volume, is actually on New Orleans at +7.5, +8. But when looking at the money line, 97% of the money is on Seattle. 100% of the master money on the money line is on Seattle. This one seems like it was somewhat of a safe pick and not really much future value on them as well. So I did expect this to be a big one. If this goes down, so be it. It'll take a fair bunch with them, I think. So, yeah. I guess you have a bit more on the line on this one than I do with the pick. So.
Yeah, I was going to say, this game's really important to me this week, more important than anyone else, given the fact that my life is literally on the line on this one. Let's take a look at number 2. Let's assume I survive and Seattle wins. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 2, and this is Tampa Bay. What do you think about Tampa Bay?
So, yeah, Tampa Bay, I do have 1 of my 8 on this one. Overall, it's a well-balanced book. Master money is 70% on the Jets, but obviously they're getting, plenty of points. On the money line, though, 87% was on Tampa Bay, but 91% of the money's on the Jets money line at sort of +250 and higher. So this one, looking at the numbers, does have me a little bit nervous. The Jets have just been horrible, so it does feel like you should get through. But yeah, there's some keen money on that money line for the Jets. I guess they're just thinking, again, potentially 2 average rough teams. But yeah, Jets have just been horrible.
Gotcha. Well, those were our 2 big survivor picks. Picks number 3 and 4 are pretty much even. These 2 teams were picked by people who had 10 entries and just gave 1 or 2 picks to these guys. This is Green Bay and Atlanta. We might as well take these guys together because they're a distant third. Do you have any strong action on Green Bay or Atlanta?
So Green Bay is where all the action is. Again, another heavily bet teaser game tied in with Seattle and a few others. There's 87% of the money's on Green Bay, no master action. 91% of the money line, no master action. I do hope Cleveland wins this game outright. Again, knock out some of these entrants. And, Green Bay is probably one of the best teams in football right now. So it would also be good to sort of just, mix it up a little bit and have Cleveland win there. Atlanta's the interesting one because we've got 65% of the money's on the spread for Carolina. 97% of the master money is plus points Carolina. When we look at the money line, we've got 67% of the money line action is on Atlanta, but 100% of the master money line is on Carolina. So this one, I was actually quite surprised that there was as much action and much selections on Atlanta as there is. Be interesting to see when the official, when Circa releases their numbers and seeing how this all sits. But Yeah, that was an interesting one. There was no way I could have sort of fallen into Atlanta, but again, Carolina's been pretty rough, and it was probably the time to sort of play against them again. And there's some that'll just probably play against them every week, hoping that they don't win a game for a while. But as I said, Buffalo, I know that was a fairly decent pick as well. Had a bit more than half my entries on that one. Got through, thankfully. And we'll have at least some picks again next week.
That sounds good. I hope I'm with you. I really hope I'm with you. The Browns game is a big game I'm hearing a lot about from a lot of people. A lot of people really like that Green Bay. But as far as the contest was concerned, they were just putting a very small piece of it because everybody I know has got Seattle. Everybody. At least 60% of their tickets. I know you had a few Buffaloes, but you are really an outlier on this one. Seattle has hit really hard. Probably going to be knocking out probably somewhere about 50% of my survivors if they don't make it. So should be a great ball game. Should be a great weekend of football. It's always good to talk football with you. Was there any other games that you wanted to cover?
No, that was pretty much it. As I said, it sort of just landed that the Chargers were where the play of the week was. I mean, 2 weeks in, we got the Eagles up last week. Unfortunate with the juicy price on the Browns money line week 1. So while we started and had a hot run last year, I was a little bit nervous coming into this year, but I think so far so good, and we landed on the Chargers this week.
That sounds really good. Hey, I never get to talk to you, so I'm just going to ask you here live because it's a very common question in my world is when are you going to be back in Vegas?
Definitely there early October for G2E, but I'm trying to get out to Arizona a bit more over the next few months, which is, simple 4-hour, 5-hour drive to Vegas as well. So I do hope to see you there probably at least 2-3 more times before the year's out.
Oh, that'd be great. Love to have you at the first Tuesday Gamblers meetup that we have every month. So if you can make that work, that would be ideal. And if you can't make it work, we'll schedule an extra one that you can make. So just let me know when you're going to be in town. I just get that question all the time, and I thought I would ask you here.
Yeah, sounds good. Always trying to get there. And as I said, definitely, and I think that falls, so I should be able to be there the first Tuesday of October. But yeah, I'll let you know in the next week or so.
That sounds great. Okay, guys, I guess that's about all we got for today. First of all, we've learned today is Nebraska's back. They're going to be heading into the playoffs for sure with that great performance against Michigan. Michigan was clearly the better team today and was able to pull off the win, but Nebraska will make it into the playoffs. Then, second thing we've learned is, please, if you like me, cheer for Seattle, given the fact my life is literally lighting on the line on this game, even though I don't have a bet on it. So crazy situation here. Adam, if I'm with you next week, that means Seattle will survive. If I'm not here with you, please carry on the show without me, okay?
I will do that.
That sounds good. All right.
All right.
I appreciate everybody listening. You guys all have a good day.
All right. Cheers. All the best.